Hey, Best Bench babes, are you thinking about buying or selling a home this fall? Or better yet, are you a realtor and you get the question all the time from clients, is now a good time to buy or sell? This episode is for you. Let's dive in.
You're listening to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in.
Hey, Best Bench babes, Beth here doing a solo episode. And the question that keeps coming up time and time again is now a good time to buy or sell? I think we're going to wait and see what the market does and just sit on the sidelines. And realtor friends, I know you're getting this question all the time. And for all of my friends listening that have thoughts of buying or selling, I know this question is on your brain too. So let's dive in today and kind of really talk about actually what's happening in the market, not necessarily fake news that you might be getting or talking to your Aunt Sue and she said this or that. Is it actually based in fact or is it a lot of fiction? This is not going to be a super long episode today, but let's dive in. What is the big question? Looking at past years, they are telling us a lot about what's actually happening in the market currently. We are still seeing an above average number of sales. Home sales are way ahead of more of what we would consider more normal years prior to our health crisis last year. So if you're thinking about selling and planning to list your home, it's still a super great time to do that. Are homes selling faster than usual? I would say home sales are not quite as hot as what they were this spring in spring and early summer, but that's not to say that they're not selling quickly. At a national average, we are seeing average days on the market of 17. So it really depends on your price point. Are you in a hotter price point like Minnesota? That would be considered like under 500. Does your home really show well? Are you in a part of town that's super desirable? How about a school district that's super desirable? That is all really going to factor into how quickly your home's going to sell. The higher the price point, I feel like homes are going to sit a little bit longer, but that's not to say that we're not seeing multiple offers in homes over $1 million. Certain parts of the country, that's an everyday thing, right? I get that. But in Minnesota, with the average price point being like in the mid 300s, we are still seeing multiple offers in the higher price points, but your home has to be presented beautifully. You really have to have your marketing ready to go. You have to have hired the right agent to make sure that your home gets the most exposure. But homes are selling quick if they're being marketed and priced properly. Bidding wars. I get this all the time. Every time I go on a listing appointment, in my perfect world, I would love every listing that I get to go into multiple offers. And then every time I'm working with a buyer, I don't want it to be a home in multiple offers. Do you feel me? um, if I got to choose in Beth's perfect real estate utopia, that's what that would look like. But if you're a seller in this market, we are seeing less multiple offers. But that's not to say that we are not seeing them at all. The stats are saying that the number of offers per listing is higher than 39 out of the previous 45 months. So that means the likelihood of you having a bidding war in your home is still pretty high. Our team was seeing earlier this year, 10, 15, 20 offers on listings that we had and on homes that when we were representing buyers where we were writing offers, we're seeing a lot less of that currently. But when I'm working with my sellers, I always say it only takes one. It literally only takes one offer for us to get a good offer. The last home that we put on the market, we got 2 offers. And when we put a deadline on the offers for the highest and best, neither of the offers improved in price, but one of the offers improved their offer in terms of all of the terms. So both of the offers had nice prices to begin with, offer prices. But when you start looking at the terms, sometimes the terms are more desirable than the sales price. Or when you take the sales price combined with the terms, you're like, oh, yeah, this is perfect. This is the dream offer that we want. So don't get discouraged if you're only seeing a couple of offers. It only takes one. That's what I always say. It only takes one showing. It only takes one offer to get you that magic price that's going to make you really happy with your sale. So the big question is the market slowing down? There are a couple of declines that we're seeing, like we're seeing some areas with higher days on the market and we're seeing less multiple offers, but that's certainly not to say that the market is crashing by any means. So I thought this comment from the chief economist at First American said it best recently. It's not the hot market from earlier this year, and it's not the 2020 market benefiting from a wave of pent-up demand, but make no mistake, this is still a super hot housing market. Bottom line is, don't let the headlines make you rethink listing your home this fall. Selling today means that you can still take advantage of high buyer demand, multiple offers, cross our fingers, and a quick sale. So if you're thinking about selling this year, it's still something that I think you should really, really consider. But then going forward, the question that we get for what is 2022 going to look like and beyond? We all know what appreciation is, right? It's an increase in value in an asset. And then depreciation is the decrease of value, but deceleration is when something happens just at a slower pace. So it's still happening, but it's happening at a slower pace. So that is what all of the economists and real estate gurus are saying about going forward for the next 5 years or so. Real estate is appreciated for the last 114 straight months. Did you hear that? 114 straight months without a deviation, home prices have appreciated across the country. Is that a mind-blowing stat or what? Okay, so Pulseonomics surveyed 100 top economists in the country and investment strategists and housing market analysts, and they were asking for a 5-year housing prediction. And what all the experts say is we're going to see a slight deceleration, but certainly not depreciation. So we're expected to see home prices continue to rise, but that national average that we're seeing this year of 19% is days of that are we're probably close to the peak on that. But what we're going to see as a year over year price increase is that we're just going to see the numbers slow. They're going to be slower. They're going to be more of a national average instead of this really ridiculous skyrocketing to prices that are not sustainable. Annual home prices are going to start flipping to be a decelerating trend. But remember what I said, decelerating is not the same as depreciation. What that means is that home prices are just going to start slowing. They're going to continue to rise, but not at the rapid pace that we've seen the last few years. On average, the annual appreciation that we've seen from 1995 to 2020 is 4.1%. So that's just like a norm. So this 19% appreciation year over year situation, it feels a little ridiculous. It feels ridiculous in my mind. I know home sellers are loving the heck out of it, but it is not sustainable and does not feel sustainable long term. But having your home price on home values go up 4.1% on a national average, that is a really, really awesome number. And that's not even factoring in you paying down your mortgage, you doing any home improvements to your house. That is literally you just living in your home, living your best life in your home. So the moral of the story is, if you're a seller, we're still going to see home prices go up. They're not going to be quite as drastic as what we've seen. But if you're a home seller and you've been sitting on the fence this entire time, like, oh, what's happening? I don't know. Is it the right time? And you've just kind of been hemming and hawing about this, it's still a great time to be a seller. You're still going to make some fabulous money on your house. But on the flip side of that coin, if you're a buyer and you've been sitting, waiting in the wings, waiting for home prices to drop, there isn't any messages out there that says that's going to happen. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you home prices are going to plummet and all the buyers are just going to get a hell of a deal. The biggest thing to tell you being a home buyer is get your hat in the ring before home prices continue to go up. When is the best time to buy a house? Probably 10 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. Now. Home prices are going to continue to go up. And at the same time, we're going to see interest rates go up next year. Interest rates ticked up a little bit this last weekend. I talked to my lender earlier this week, and he said interest rates are up. And we don't know if this is just a little blip on the radar and they're going to go back down, but they're about 1/4 point higher than they were. Moral of the story is here. Deceleration is what we can expect, which means what? Let's go back to the definition. Deceleration is when something happens at a slower pace. Deceleration is not the same as depreciation. So let's get that panic talk out of your vocabulary. Make sure that if you're an agent, you're really educating all of your buyers and sellers on what exactly is happening in the market. And if you're a consumer thinking about buying or selling, we're not going to see house prices fall out like we did during the crash. It's still an awesome time to get into the home buying or selling game, or both. Interest rates are still fantastic, some of the lowest that we've ever seen. They're not the lowest, but they're still unbelievably fantastic. I remember when I bought my first house, my interest rates were in like 7%, and I was like, yeah, at least they're not in the 8s. And right now they're hovering around 3%. So it's insane to see, back when I bought my first house in the 90s versus now, like how low interest rates are and how much that helps with the home price affordability and your monthly mortgage payment. It's incredible. So moral of the story is, don't be out there spouting doom and gloom, because there's nothing out there that says doom and gloom is on the horizon. The next 5 or so years is what we have, what we're able to see on the runway ahead of us. And everything that they're saying in the next 5 years is really positive for the home buyer and for the home seller. So if you're on the fence, I would love to have a conversation with you. I'd love to talk about all this kind of stuff. I kind of nerd out on it, if you can't tell. So reach out to me, reach out to the team, and we would love to help you sell or buy your next property. And agent friends out there, your clients are looking to you as the expert. And I hope you are armed with a ton of information so you can help your clients make the best financial decisions for their future. So I just bombarded you with a bunch of stats and info, and I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope that this gives you some talking points to talk with your clients and your potential clients going forward. And at any time, if you ever want to reach out, look me up on the Bus Bench Babes. I would love to have a conversation with you. So, Bus Bench Babes, I just bombarded you with a whole bunch of information and stats that I hope you find useful. I hope that this will help some buyers and sellers get off the fence. And for my realtor friends out there, I hope this gives you some talking points that you can share with your potential clients and your sphere of influence, because you're the expert. Your clients are looking to you to be the expert. So until next time, keep being a badass boss babe that you are. And for the love of God, keep your face off a bus bench. See you next time.
Okay, girls, are you feeling as inspired as we are? We're over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast.
If you want more, Head over to girlgetyourfaceoffabusbench.com for show notes and more episodes. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. They mean the world to us, and they're what keep us going.
Girl, thanks for being here.